ingrained in them. They
Also players like FaxFox.
And then there's another player we have to mention. A prodigy for a reason, which we're going to see today. He plays on a potato laptop, if I'm not mistaken.
A meme, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm playing on a potato, like a little dinky laptop.
Do you think he requested specifically like a laptop?
Bit of time for these players to adjust. They've had a few games on it, but maybe not as much as they potentially would have liked. But
Volcano now on the map.
it's a massive volcano.
It's a
as well, yeah.
massive volcano. There's a lot of mobility being added to that side of the region. And like I mentioned before, Wailing Woods, RIP, gone. So now a new format.
And not only changes to the map, I mentioned before the Stormwing now being out. Then go for placement points. Well, now you're forced to take a lot more engagements earlier on than you never expected to.
Ground rotation game, Launchpad's Rifts are still in the game. But yeah, it's a completely different
game, and just see everyone blasting out of those. Also, a change we haven't touched on is the drop rate for like to what weapons you're gonna have to fight. But the biggest change for me has to be the Infinity Dab. I could, I just don't dab.
Okay,
it's
fair
just not
enough.
me. It's not my
Fair
style.
enough. Some of us do, some of us don't. And anyway, Speedy, another thing I want to talk about before and kind of maybe dropped into some of those areas, or do you think that
a lot of common drop spots are going to be overlapping? You know, 3/4 of the map kind of remain learning live, learning as they go. And I mean, yesterday they were practicing and they were like, I can't find like an uncontested spot.
In the world, you have to be able to adapt. You got Season 8 coming out, you're going to have to maybe change up your location, but I think in the end,
these players are dropping certain areas. Say we have a couple of the big names, just so happen to drop next to land next to each other at the start, you know, and everyone's like, okay, like one of these guys might die. And one thing I wanted to ask you, Speedy, is there any players that you know that adapt quicker than others?
Because you never really want to change up your drop spot, you know, going into a major tournament such as this.
Saying he dropped Viking Village, he won it 3 times out of like 4, and it's like, okay, there's with a situation given to you once you do drop down.
Okay, let's talk about some more notable players. We kind of highlighted some of the players down at the end of the solos.
Like I mentioned before, Saf did amazing in Secret Skirmish.
The difference between NA and EU. This is his chance to not only win the whole tournament, but oh yeah, and I can't wait for it because it's going to be epic. You know, whichever one of those wins is going to be celebrating in the chair.
Ready for this one. Round number 1 is underway. Gentlemen, take it away.
Oh, man, about how often he wants to go with Tilted, but he's giving it up off the bat. So adaptations, as we were just talking about the desk, Thunk Bomb there, as you can see, towards that north-hand side as well. He's going to have at least a couple of chests off. The guy who actually...
The only thing he's missing in this loadout is a shotgun. He can't really contest someone close range, but maybe he can pop a couple of...
Rolling in, Jarl's going to be dropped off the bat here. Fnatic going to be down 1 player. But yeah...
Over here in Frosty Flights.
Yeah, so it looks like any sort of shields, Demo's the one applying this pressure.
Absolutely. The reason you
just to update you as well around the map, we actually do have a relatively good spread across. Very beautiful. We see Saf as well. Flexi, German player here out of game. And Demo already has his first.
The Bush strat's a classic.
Talking about before, he's got looks like he's going to be trying to do so. As you can see now, the Vic going to be Fnatic.
Looks like Power had recently taken out another opponent. Power just kind of disengaging there with the drift board. It's a nice little mobility item to get you in and out of situations. That's
up against him. He's just looking for that shot. He's got the shotgun. He's trying to go for the place. They're trying to take down elimination just yet. Another place to become. He will take down Mirana. So that'll be his first elimination. We heard a trap go down in the last second there. Representing TSM, he's got Cloud as his partner for tomorrow when we get into our duos. He's got Kripa to fight with here, to contend with. So
little rotation there that he's used to.
You see Tixi.
He's going for the disengage actually. Meanwhile, you know, his opponent's just holding high ground each other. And they said, hey, you know, let's just go our separate ways here. Healthy here.
And he's making the push happen. Only 8 builds, 7 builds left here for Kripa as he's using.
Love to see it. Myth performing well in a tournament environment.
Go off in the early stages, but as we know, transitions that mid-game, attention.
Really disengage. There's no more...
Fine, he's in the circle for now.
Yeah, there's no rush. I mean, Beehive has a rift, he can get out of here.
But it doesn't seem like we're going to have a fight break off just yet.
Yeah, so Funk Bomb and towards any situation that they can avoid.
Well, maybe not that. Pan does secure that elimination. Yeah, Myth now. Potentially trying to come in. That is just being pressured as Jordan's looking Seth actually escapes and manages to turn around to take down Jordan with a great little play. Uses the ramp to block the shot.
Turning it around.
Now X8 gonna be tuning in with him here. As a Sap is the player I have to win this whole thing, to win this whole tournament solos. And no! Sap goes down!
Game and show us what he could do.
We got a pirate cannon.
We have a cannon.
We got a pirate cannon.
We see these players setting up here. They know there's a cannon. Really good in case they don't get circled. Just kind of launch out of there.
A lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage that you can inflict on your opponent there. Brillick's really weak.
Yeah, I think now.
Provoke ends up working for us.
I kind of wanted to see him actually use it, right? Because he had the first aids. He had the opportunity to retreat.
Rift, they know you're weak, so everyone in the lobby is going to start taking those AR shots at you. They've been Kovaxing 5 hours a day.
The Korean player has been doing some work so far, able to get 10 points on the board. You can see Chap. Alright, well, we can see, though, people are starting to group up. Myth going to be still alive, as you can see. We got 0-7 as well, a player here from...
And kind of an interesting note, there's a lot of players setting up on this side of the map, especially around this, this mountain.
Right. Oh,
and they do get the circle, so, no rush.
You saw Zayt there towards the northern side, able to close it. He's actually the little purple arrow there on the minimap. Upek, actually a player from Poland as well. He played last week, didn't really have the results that he was looking for, and the thing is, him and Skix were actually two of the players a lot of people were pointing out in particular that just didn't seem rise to the occasion last week, but here's a different chance.
Aim Hero, one of the Korean players here, he ended up dropping tilted. I guess his teammate, that might have been the reason. They might have flipped a coin.
Maybe.
Said Aim Hero.
Ooh, a lot of it coming through. Those Zextro gets on the board, the Vic gets on the board as well. And players are starting to drop like flies. This Aim Hero trying to live up to his name here, and he won't be able to. That'll be Hoopik able to come up big. And now
Camo moving on in for the third party. Heard a lot of action. There's also Excalibur, but Upex is just going to shoot up there and everyone's going to go their separate ways, so he's safe for now.
Camo's pretty much ahead of the group so far in retreating from this position. Mitro, what can we say about you? We want to talk about you quite a bit. He looks like did get elimination. They see Stompy trying to come through, who could get third party from Mitro from the other side. Stompy's going to be in a very precarious position here, Speedy.
Camo, just locking in on him, not really firing. He wants to get into a circle here, but he gets tagged from the back.
He's got the rift if he needs it. You can see Camo trying to bide his time. That's going to be Cloud walking around him here. Just going to be healing back up, get back to that 200 HP as the storm will start to shrink here.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to waste that.
Everyone knows, is it true if you don't use it?
Rift for endgame, you want it for those, far moving circles, but we saw a player earlier, he didn't use the rift, he ended up going down. So if you're in a tight spot, in a little pinch, you want to get out of there, you have to burn your mobility. You have to get out of there, and you have to live to fight another day.
Exactly, and I honestly, I would respect that play. Just unfortunate that we didn't see
TSM Cloud and TSM Myth,
right next to
neighbors next to each other, duos tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they're enemies today, but they're friends tomorrow, or hopefully they'll be friends again tomorrow, as Bizzle does get elimination for himself. You see Stompy doesn't have the greatest kit in terms of weapons, but he does have the two rifts, and he does have a lot of shields to use. Just Cloud's being pressured by Airwax. Airwax's thing is, he's been a professional player in other games before in a MOBA. He's been playing at the top level, and I know Stress back there is looking at him to be one of the top performers over the course of this weekend.
Absolutely, Airwax, another day, another land.
A little provoked. Again, he's going to have the shotgun, the rifts. We see a lot of rifts in play technically at the moment. So when we get into those later stages, things start to get extremely crazy. A lot of players actually still towards that Dusty Divot side and towards the southern side of the circle. So I'm imagining we're going to have your speed in a few moments. People start to transition here up north.
Yeah, the majority of the lobby is outside of the circle right now. Most of these players at the Broken Pirate Outpost need to start going on in. I expect a launch pad going in. This is TSM taking out Kripa.
Yeah, good old Myth. And then Seth as well. Nice little drop down. He actually catches his opponent off guard. He wasn't even looking towards him.
I always get nervous when I see them drop into a box. Traps could go down, could easily turn the other direction.
Yeah, and you don't want to be eliminated from a trap, at least in game one. Mitro as well, looking for the shot at the window. I believe he did get that one. But now we've got Camo there. We've got Nate, Scram, Tomo from Alliance, Sakona as well. Smeep off to the side. Again, the duo from Milan. And Anna, we haven't even touched on him just yet. I think Zacubus was saying he's a player he expects to do well.
You definitely want to keep an eye on Animals. Yesterday during the practice matches, him and his teammate Aspect actually won 2 practice games back to back.
Wow. That's a good sign. That's an amazing sign.
An amazing sign.
I just hope they didn't peak too early in the tournament, you know? Get those 2 wins yesterday and then not be able to perform when it comes to the actual matches.
Absolutely. Hopefully the adrenaline left them and they're nice, calm, and collected. Ghost Aydan, they're on the side, just trying to get into zone.
Yeah, good to see him still alive and kicking. I believe you mentioned before, Ape Hero was the player that was over towards Tilted, so it looks like they're just disengaged from each other. Storm Surge in effect as well.
So Storm Surge, if a player is, you know, for example here, Provoked has 265 above the threshold.
Yeah. And we can see Aydan going to be taking high ground here as we see a lot of players trying to build on and add their own little rooms to this giant castle being built. Milan has fallen, unfortunately. But again, just match number 1. Just turned 16 about a day, or not a day, so about a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. And Jarkos, the man that came in as the wild card into this, didn't even know he's going to be playing here today in this Solos tournament. He's still alive here as we're about to approach that top 50.
I'm definitely excited to see him still alive. I definitely want to see how he does. I believe I see Liquid 72 Hours there still alive as well. So he managed to, you know, get a safe drop and rotate on into the circle.
Jarkos has to be careful though. He's got Jesse off to his side. He's got Skix under them. But we're at these stages where everyone's going to be on everyone. So by hitting these shots, getting the eliminations where you can get them. You see Jarkos still just looking for a couple of shots here in between. He's got a launch pad, so there's no need for him to rush into the circle just yet.
Yeah, the ideal situation here is that someone else puts down their launch pad and you just take their launch pad. You don't.
There was a lot of underperforming out of players that we saw in the Polish tournament that we expected to be into the top levels. Now go into this tournament, which is, I mean, unarguably a more difficult tournament for everyone. It's going to be even more harder for him to perform, right?
Yeah.
You would imagine, but he's been able to break top 50 so far.
Yeah, players like Zeke, who maybe didn't perform as well as they might have wanted in last week's tournament, definitely a chip on their shoulder, definitely want to prove it to themselves and everyone here.
Jarkos has gone down. The Brazilians have struck history, gets his elimination on the board, eliminating our wild card player. Look at this. We see, I believe there's cannons coming through.
Liquid Chap still alive. I believe I saw Razaru. Energy Zate, another NA player that you want to keep an eye on. Definitely one of the top. I believe this is Saf's teammate.
Yep, Saf and Zate. Different orgs, but friends nonetheless here. But we're even hearing some bottle rockets going off here. You can see Zate trying to get some high ground, though. He's not going to have the ultimate high ground. It's going to be Alpha, the one to have this, looking for some shot. He's got a couple of clingers. It's not very often, Speedy, we see clingers last this long into the game.
They'll probably just saving it here for endgame. You definitely want to save those clingers for, you know, some easy, quick cleanup kills so that you can get your HP up. Energy Zate just kind of holding that wall.
Getting a couple of rockets off here or there, too. Trying to get spammed out of Alpha.
Alpha just not letting up. And when you're in high ground like this, you definitely don't want to let up. You want to get as many tags as possible. Ghost Bizzle's still alive.
Well, this is now the question as we get to as Funk Bomb has been eliminated. The Storm is going to start to move here momentarily, and this is where people need to have that material to build, to get across, to be able to maintain some sort of positions. I want to see how Alpha is going to try to maintain this high ground. He's going to have to be very careful in how he builds. Those launch pads as well. I think everyone's going to be jumping on top of this here, Speedy. You can see the pressure starting to take in here. A lot of elimination, a lot of damage being done. Skix has fallen. Sakona takes down Nate. Faye's going to be out, I believe, with their 2 players. And Bizzle, he's just trying not to get pushed on. He's trying to not be aggressive on. He's looking to retreat away from this one, looking for another fight. He might be able to get it here. He might be able to get this elimination done. He's still looking for the damage. The building has come in. He's down to 50 HP. He could lose this fight potentially, Speedy.
Bizzle's so weak here. Dropping into his box. He ends up turning it around.
Takes down Little J. Zextro as well going to fall, one of the most aggressive players we have in Fortnite.
Liquid Vivid, Vinny's still alive. Camo's still alive. Bizzle just trying to get his HP up after that engagement.
I think Nikoff, well, he died to the Storm Surge. A little unfortunate for there. Not going to be in the best situation. Demo's going to fall there, as you see from the low ground. Jam side, where did he even come from? He's somehow been able to take the ultimate high ground away from everyone as the Storm continues to move through. Look, everyone with Crazy Lamino going. Japan has lost out a player. And Jam side, he's got 3 eliminations. That's 15 points already. Can he maintain the spot, though?
Jam side with 16 builds left. He can't maintain this high ground. He actually gets to drop down 10 more builds. He has to get an elimination here. 105 pump going on in.
So looking for Zayd, and he's too focused on Zayd. He's being shot from a couple of directions. You can see Bizzle there towards the low ground. Speed, Vinny, you have Skeet to the left-hand side with Camo and Animal. Zayd's fallen. He's now dropped out of this one. Jamside going to be floating back in to retain this high ground position.
Bizzle trying to take high ground. Bizzle ends up taking the high ground from Jamside. Jamside, no builds left.
This is tough. How do you get out of this position? He's got the maximum shield he can possibly get.
He has a launchpad, but he can't even put it down because he has no builds.
Oh, he's looking to escape this, looking to maybe build down through this tower as the storms and eventually close in on him. Tomo is looking very good, back to full HP. Vinny on a sliver of health left, just trying to stay alive towards the lower end side.
Jamside ended up going down, but Ghost Bizzle maintains the high ground.
Oh, he's trying to. He's got enough builds to do. He's got a first aid kit if he needs as well. Animal has fallen as Speed's able to get his elimination, being brought in by Milan as his dual partner and doing some serious work here. It's Bizzle on the high ground, able to help get the damage.
Goes down 1v1.
Skeet's the one to get these eliminations. Down to that 1v1. He's going to drop down, take a little bit of damage from this one, but can he get this elimination? 14 builds left to go. He's got the shotgun. He knows where his enemy's going to be. But the time is taken away. He goes for the jump shot, actually on the build as well, for any sort of damage he can engage with before he goes for the drop, before he goes
Bizzle with no more builds.
Well, now he's going to have to engage into this one, right, Speedy? You can see towards the
He has to drop down. He has to drop down.
50 HP left. He's still trying to sprint. Yes, G with 19 HP. Bizzle takes the first victory out of today.
Bizzle, our secret skirmish, first place winner 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
You'd love to see it.
You love to see it. You love to see that consistency as well. We didn't get to talk about this at the start of the show, but consistency is amazing. But sometimes you need to have those standout games. But hell, if you're consistently in top 3 like this, consistency is perfect for you.
Absolutely. We saw Bizzle there primed and ready to retake high ground once Jamside ended up with no more mats. Took the high ground from there. It was just a piece of cake for him.
And when you're playing like this, right, this is the first game of the day in solos, and you just won the first match. You have to be so hyped and pumped now into the next.
Dude, I'm absolutely hyped. But good start to the day here, Cam Vincent. You enjoy game number 1, right?
Thanks very much, buddy. I'm joined by Bizzle right now, a game 1 winner. Bizzle, that was intense. That was amazing. You must feel like $1 million after that very first game. Walk us through the end game there. How important was the high ground?
It was definitely important. You saw a lot of people low ground and getting stuck with zone, so it was really important to stay high and stay away from all the chaos.
When you come into that kind of final circle, there's 40 players, like top tier players all together. How does it feel to play? How does mindset change? How does it feel to be in that moment?
I'm playing against the best players all the time, and it's nothing different. Just play your game, and it's proven to work. I've been winning games for a while now, and it just goes my way most of the time.
I've been playing in front of this live audience, this amazing audience here as well. You're playing against these top players. How much of an experience is for you as well as a player being here in this major, enjoying being here with everyone today?
This is insane. It's probably the biggest crowd I've ever seen at a Fortnite event, so it's a first time for me, and I'm just glad to see all the people enjoying it.
Well, Bizzle, you are the game 1 winner. Confidence, I think you got, was it 4 eliminations there? You got yourself the win as well. Points are starting to tally up. Confidence must be sky high right now for the rest of the tournament.
Confidence is high, but it's a big series, and I need to play good throughout the whole series. Still got 6 games to go, and hopefully I can take another 1 or 2 wins.
Well, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your game 1 winner. It's Bizzle! Best of luck with the rest of the tournament, buddy. Mark, back to you guys. What a great start to this competition.
Genuinely one of the funniest things I've seen in quite a long time. So,
just jump in really quickly, by the way. Sky, who didn't even win, he came in second, is actually still ahead of Bizzle. So Bizzle, who won in placing, is not winning overall in the standings, which is huge.
I mean,
that's the importance of eliminations, right?
I mean, look at those nationalities, Martin. I mean, across the board there, no one dominating at all at the moment. A real spread of different nationalities being represented in this top 20.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really spread right now, and I mean, we're only 1 game in right now, right? So, I mean, it can change, and we do have 6 games left, so yeah.
A lot can change, but it's nice to see, just not like Canada, USA, Canada. In top 10. I like to see all these other regions really starting out strong. I want to see them get stronger, though. I want to see the Korean boys. I want to see them step up into some top 10s. I want to see Japan as well. Crazy Llama. I'd love to see him in a top 10 position. History and Fa from Brazil. I want to see them as well in those kind of situations. Like we've been saying, it's 1 game. There's still 6 to go. There's no rush.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I think we were all very pleased about, the speed at which that first game was played in comparison to last weekend. We saw some of the solos a little bit, players feeling themselves a little bit, sort of feeling each other out a little bit more. But there was some players willing to engage in the battles here, as we see some other shots of the IEM Expo that we have here, and some of the players are just playing around some Fortnite while they're here. But one thing I want to go back to just before I was talking about there is the willingness to engage. And a lot of these players, we have some of the best in the world here, and you can see they're all confident in their own ability to win those battles when they're presented.
And comparing it to the Polish edition last week, we saw a lot of players when it came to solos, they would just run away from each other. If they saw anyone, they would build up in a 1-by-1, then they'd be like, all right, do I really need to take this fight? And more often than not, they said, okay, no, we're just going to back away. But here, it's complete opposite. If you see someone, you build up your 1-by-1, but you're not retreating. You want these limbs.
And we do have the Storm Surge, right? So you're kind of bound, like, you're forced to attack someone at some point. And we did see Domentos last game. He was 1 damage below the Storm Surge threshold, and he was having such troubles trying to find someone to put some bullets in. But yeah, eventually he did find it. But yeah.
There was a few like little early markers being put down by players as well, wasn't there? There was one, I think Kuna picked up a kill and he had a little dance on top of the player that he eliminated as well.
Celebration.
Little things like that. Yeah, celebration. That's a good way of putting it. But it's just those little things that it can get in your head a little bit. If you come up against that player again in a 1v1 and it's like, ooh, I remember losing this one last time, and it's a little seed of doubt. I like that play, to be honest.
Well, speaking of losing fights, Aspect was knocked out really early on, so he lost on his drop, which, again, like when you're playing against your own regions, you're used to having positions open to you that no one's going to contest you, or that at least the people that will contest you, you know how they play. Everything's out the window when it comes to this. You're playing against the best in the world, and if there's someone contesting you, it's like a 50-50 fight. There's no guarantee you're going to win any of these battles. Now, if you're Aspect, do you change up your drop location? Do you stick with it again because maybe you misplayed something and you're feeling confident the second time? But if you go into the second time and you lose again, how's it going to affect you mentally in the whole match? It's a lot for the players to take into account.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really, it's really hard to predict other players' drop spots, right? Especially with the new map changes.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're playing, there's different regions, and yeah, it's just really hard to predict, and sometimes you just have to step back, go into, like, maybe drop somewhere else and try your luck elsewhere. But yeah, a lot of places are contested.
Well, here you go then. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 is very much underway. Gentlemen, take it away.
All right, so start things off with our first round victor. It's going to be Bizzle here in Dusty Divot. He's able to, like you said, 4 eliminations. And let's see if he can do it another time here, as he's pretty much going to be uncontested at the moment. You got Myth as well, who had a really good game, actually took down Kripa. And for a player who's had such a rough time these last few months, it's great to see he's come into this, ready to go and already performing well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, he did take down Kripa, and that must give him somewhat of a confidence boost, just going into taking down a European player and showing, yeah, NA's here ready to show you how good we are. And yeah.
Forget NA. I think it's just, I'm here to play. I'm here to perform. I got this elimination. Forget NA. I don't care about them. I care about me. And we're seeing some action over towards a volcano as well. 72 hours had landed there using these vents as well to get some quick loot and potentially get out. I still want to see some conga, though. I want to see some conga lines being built up here. Maybe in the duos.
And he's uncontested here. That's what I love about Volcano. You can just, like, fly around, make sure you pick up all of that loot. If you engage in a fight, you could just, you can just use those vents to your advantage and dip out, or, just go aggressive as well. And here's beautiful Tomato Temple. We have Jarl here. Looks like he's contested by someone, not quite sure. There's a third player as well making his way down the hill here.
07, unfortunately, has fallen there. So again, one of our Chinese players is going to be eliminated as Animal was able to secure that one. We're going to see Milan, though, again, the Prodigy, 28 HP. Not the best of places so far. Aspect again has gone down. I think it was to Margin, or Maggot, sorry. That was 2 games in a row that he's lost his drop. And we were just talking about that, theorizing what can happen in these situations. Do you continue to go for it? In the meantime, Milan is trying to run away from Animal, who's just hunting him down, trying to get this limb with stink bombs. And Milan, he's just looking for an escape route, but I don't think he's going to have a chance here, Martin.
He does have a shotgun, so he might get a lucky shot, but goes down to 8 health. If he manages to get a lucky shot, he might be able to take this, but it's not looking too good for Milan. We'll try to make it out here. We have a third player making his way into Snobby, so this could be just what Milan needs to make it right. Yeah, like Animal and Ares now in a little fight here.
So somehow Milan gets lucky, summons Ares here and help him out somehow. And now Animal's not able to chase on the limb, and he's gonna lose his life. He almost had the limb onto Milan and Ares. I don't know if he knows, but he just saved Milan's life.
Oh, he did, and I'm not even sure he knows Milan is still there. Milan just made his way a bit, like, switch houses, maybe he'll find some heals, and yeah, he got a free pass.
And Eric, who dropped to Demo before his first big tournament here. is looking to have a little bit of a change of fate here into round 2. He will have Jordan, one of the 2 Australian twins. Seth, in the meantime, throwing a boogie bomb, I think that was, in towards Eric, looking to catch him out. And he even has the heavy sniper as well, but I believe he's not looking for any sort of up-close and personal engagement, so he's just going to back away.
Yeah, no shotgun makes you do that. Like, you do really want to fight in a distance if you don't have that shotgun. And yeah, I mean, we do have Myth is in here again in Lonely. Crippa, we see Crippa there on the map as well, but he's just spectating as Mies and Myth is in a little fight here.
Myth, he needs a Salim, and he's going to have momentarily. He wants to take Crippa down another chance, and there we go on the high ground. Some damage being traded. Crippa's going to be there, Myth. He doesn't spot him out, but Crippa's not going to hit the shots. Yeah, she's with the Klinger. He catches Myth with the Klinger. Myth is out, and Crippa gets his revenge.
Yeah, that's right. He gets his revenge, but now he's on the lower ground. He did manage to sneak that, to steal that elimination, and I mean, his health goes up, but gets hit by that explode. Yeah, he does. Oh.
He's running low on ammo, though. You can see 5 shots left on the silenced AR. He's got the compact SMGs. He's spraying through. He's got the grenade launchers. While he's running out of ammo left and right, this might be the opportunity for him to just run away and give this one up. Unless he's feeling that confident, you can see him trying to replace some walls here, Martin. Is this what you would do in this situation?
I mean, he doesn't have a shotgun